Hey guys, Paisley here, coming at you today with a really wild Steve Howe run. The origin of this one's a little bit obtuse. It's from the Yes cover of Simon and Garfunkel's America, which I discovered on the Fragile album, but it was a bonus track, so when I bought it on CD it was just tucked away there on the end and I thought it was just part of the album. I realised it wasn't when my dad overheard me listening to it and came in and was like, "Who's this murdering Simon and Garfunkel?" So I guess it's a fairly divisive cover. I really like it, and it's got a lot of like crazy arrangement stuff going on. It changes key non-stop, it bounces all over the place, and then there's this huge instrumental section in the middle of it. And I've been working on this with a student recently for a few weeks, going through a load of the stuff in there, and there's been so many useful ideas and a lot of stuff that's really helped kind of like just join shapes together on the neck, get a lot more mobility, and kind of just tie a few licks in with chords. So I thought maybe that would be useful for a few other folks as well. If you do enjoy this video, please hit like and subscribe, and you keep up to date with all the other videos that I'm trying to put out. If you want to get hold of the backing track that I'm using, that's available on my Patreon to subscribers there. You can also get access to the tab files and Guitar Pro. So the start of it, we've got D, E, and F sharp, and I'm playing them all with that same shape, so that's just really useful for getting used to seeing those in those places. And we're going to do a really similar idea with a few phrasing variations over them, so this is going to help you picture kind of notes you can use around that. So over the D, I'm going to play my root note, and then D, sus, and D, so I'm adding that little finger on. And the phrase I'm going to have, I'm sliding down to this 4th fret on the 3rd string, and the 2nd fret, and then I'm going to play 4, 2, open with pull-offs, and then 3, 2, open on the 4th and 5th strings. He lets the A ring out there, so now actually technically we've got D/A, which is clever, it's just making it feel like it's already moving somewhere else to the next chord. So we're going to do a very similar run here. Far fewer notes that time, a little bit more space, but I'm ending on this E, and E is my next chord. And I've got that low E now ringing out, so that gives me time to get up to here. So what's nice is this chord doesn't feel thinner now, because we've got that low E ringing out. If you take that up, it'll often, because you're getting higher on those thin strings, it will start to feel well, like maybe not got as much body, like say thinner. But you notice if we had this kind of like, where I did the slide before, think of that as the 5th fret, so we had 5, 4 and 2 fret wise. Well, if this chord's got 2 frets, so is that phrase. So just attach that shape to the other shape. The F sharp, we've got this D shape on here. This is a little bit fiddlier. Same idea to start. And then going up to that note. So it's a bit of a tongue twister with your fingers, but what I find helps me see that is this shape, which is part of like all your triads and things like that. So we've got the second inversion there, that's a first inversion, we'd have our root inversion here. So that's my first part of it. Okay, so the second part of this run, this is like the fast pull-off section, taking us into the next section of this solo, and this is very, like the guitar is just on its own, so it's a big sort of standout moment. So what we've got happening is this pull-off pattern. I'm going to start up here, I'm at frets 10, 9 and 7. If you've not already kind of spent time doing this, just being able to be uncomfortable just pulling off like 3 notes on a string like that, this is a good excuse to do that. But get it on one string first, get it that you can keep that going. So I'm only picking the first note. So that's my basic shape, and it's essentially that moved across different places. And this is one of the things where tab gets a little bit confusing, because if you keep seeing these clusters of 3 numbers, it's very easy to get lost and kind of stuck on the neck. So what I'm going to think is just where my little finger's going for this. It's always going to be this half step pull off, whole step pull off. So I'll start at fret 10 on string 2, and then fret 9 on string 3. Then it's that again. Then it's fret 7 on string 4. Then it's that again. Then it's fret 3 on string 5. And that again. And then on my F sharp. So the way I would get used to practicing this is first of all just doing one on each. And don't worry about if there's a little pause between them. When it comes to building up the phrasing on this, what you want to think is the way it's staggered. What a lot of people are going to do, again, when they kind of see the tab, the way it's written out, they're going to see that you have the same 2 like triplets side by side. And they're going to end up playing something that sounds like this. And kind of the pulse of that isn't right. Because if you look at it in the sheet music, the way the triplets are grouped together and where the beat division is, you'll notice that it's as it changes string that they're kind of paired together. So I practice them in pairs like that. 2nd string and 3rd string, then 3rd string and 4th string, then 4th string and 5th string, then 5th string and bottom string, which is just a single note. And that's going to help it get that kind of pulse and sense of movement much quicker, because then also what we're going to do is glue those pairs together. And not just prang a random string like that. This is a good example of, I think it's actually kind of harder, slower in a way, because you've got to really think about where you're going. When you kind of get that up to speed, kind of just falls off your hands, it just kind of rolls out, but it obviously takes some time to build up that speed. So what I'd recommend with practicing it is don't be too cautious, because actually I find that's when you start kind of hitting wrong strings and things. Like, just throw yourself at it and it'll eventually come that speed. So thanks very much for checking out this video. I really hope it's been useful to you and you've enjoyed it. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons so you can stay up to date with all the other videos I post. Please consider checking out my Patreon page if you haven't already. As I say, you'll be able to get access to the backing tracks, the tab files. Also, you'll be supporting me to make more of these videos. I really want to do more of this sort of thing. So any little bit of support is really massively appreciated. I am already planning on doing a second part to this video, because this is only a tiny fraction out of this song and there are so many cool licks in it. So there's going to be a part 2 coming very soon, where I go into a few other licks that are kind of like really in the country blues sort of mould.